Hey guys, today I want to talk about rents in the Philippines and how they vary so widely in the Philippines too. And a lot of that has to do with where expats live. Now my area, we don't have a lot of expats here. It's not many at all. We have a lot coming in here, but this area can take it. The great thing about this area, like I've told people, is we're right in the middle of everything. But I want to talk about rents and how they vary. Now you can go up into Manila and you can be paying 400, 500, 600, 1,000 for rents up there. And you're not going to get much up there. Although rents have come down and there's a lot more empty places up there around Manila, on the outskirts of Manila. Cavite and Tracy Martirez, Dasmariñas, and also General Trias. These places probably have like the lowest rents around here in the Philippines. There's a few other places too, okay? But when you're talking about like other places like Angeles still has some good places up there, but some of the places that I've seen from up there being shown, they're kind of run down. They're not new and they're getting high prices for them, okay? They're just not really super nice. They do have nice ones up there. You're gonna pay more. You're gonna pay through the nose for them. I've seen around Subic, it's kind of expensive a little bit. You can go down to, like I said, Cebu, high-rise apartments. You're gonna pay more for these, especially if you have a pool, okay? Here's the thing though, if you go to General Trias, Dasmariñas, and you get into these gated communities, okay, and you're looking for a place with a pool, you get a one bedroom, 140, 120, even 100 for one bedroom, depending on the size of it, okay? 140, 160, 180, you can get a two bedroom, sometimes with a patio up on the roof, and you can go up there and put a picnic table and have a party up there at night or during the day or whatever, and just enjoy it, get some breezes blowing across there, whatever. It's a good deal. Now, these rents, the reason why I talk so much about rents is this. The rents, if you come over here and you start renting high, and you got a little bit of extra money in your pocket, it's okay to rent high. I still tell people try to save if you can, but here's the key. Let's say the economy just starts tanking. You're living in a, I don't know, $600 one bedroom, high-rise condo, pool, exercise room, all that stuff. And all of a sudden, the economy tanks. So the economy tanks, this is what happens. So all of a sudden, the economy tanks, and you're left there, well, geez, what am I gonna do next? Well, it's a no-brainer. You can moved to some place like Tracy, Martirez, and you can get into like a one bedroom for about 80. Okay, and it'll change everything. It gives you that extra cash. It gives you like a kind of a cushion. So you come over here, you start living good, but then as time goes on, things go up, your insurance goes up, food prices go up. If you don't get COLA raises, you can always go lower. Okay, you can move to a different area or what have you, where it's cheaper. Now, I'm not saying you have to downgrade your lifestyle. No, you don't. In most cases, you won't have to. Because, you know what, those little $80 apartments that I show, they're not that bad. They're not much difference between an apartment in, say, Cebu that you're paying $400 to $600 for. I've been in some of those apartments. I know what they look like. I've even seen some that even have rats in them, you know, that are $600 for a one bedroom. Over in Dasmariñas, they have condos over there, okay? They were charging one of the expats here $600, has a huge pool, beautiful place. And, you know, for $600, I looked at it and I said, wow, that's like American style. You know, it's got the pool, it's got the exercise room, it's got the gated community, it's got guards around, walking around the properties and everything. And then when I saw the apartment, I was like, what's the difference between this and my place? My place is bigger, it's better, it's got AC, I don't have the pool, I have a cabana I can go out and sit in, I have a little space, I can put plants outside. I can't do that there. I can go outside and sit by the pool, but that's it. That grows old after a while. You know, sitting by the pool, sitting in the sun all day. Sounds nice, but who wants skin cancer? You know, that's the problem here. We live near the equator. So, but these people that come over here, on these lower budgets and stuff like that, and they start off on a lower budget, it's asking for trouble, because if you're starting off in a $80 apartment and your money starts getting eaten away by inflation for food, for your insurance, things like that, you have nowhere to go after that. Could you lower down to a $40 place? Who would want to? I mean, it's akin to being homeless, because some of these places, they have holes in the walls and holes underneath the door. The door has a space that's that wide where snakes can get in and bugs can get in. Nobody wants to live like that. But these $80 apartments are nice. You know, you might have to do a little fixing up on them. You might, even if they're new, you have to kind of westernize them. Put a Western toilet in, put a bidet in, put a shower in, even if it doesn't have hot water. Now, the guys that I found the apartments for, they both wanted hot water. We put the hot water heater in. It didn't cost that much. It was under $200. So for under $200, you can put that in. Some people say, well, Steve, if I leave, I'm going to take that with me. You know something? Those things age out, because they last a few years probably before you have to replace them. It's like kind of like a water tank. They burn out, they get old. So when you leave, you just leave it there. You don't bring it with you. Besides that, you got holes in the wall. You don't want to leave all that for your landlord. And then if it breaks down, they can replace it for the next person. You just put up a new one. They're cheap. Less than $200. You can have that put in. Actually, probably, I would say you could have it installed for $150. And if you get one on sale, yeah, you can probably about $150, $140. It's not that bad if you know the right people. You have to have the connections to have this stuff put in. But it's all about making it over here. You have to be able to adjust, change. You have to be like a chameleon all the time over here. But you can make it over here on some of these cheaper budgets if you are smart. But I don't tell people to come over here and start on a smaller budget. I tell people, start where you feel comfortable. I myself, if I was to come over here and I was you guys, this is what I say. Come over here if you're alone. Get a 1-bedroom for $80. Fix it up, and you'll be living good. If you're on a $1,200 budget and you get an $80 apartment, you're going to be living pretty good. You might not have the pool. You might not have the exercise room. But where I live, I got a gym right down the street. They're talking about putting in a pool. They got places around that have pools that you can go use for the day. If you want to take a jeepney ride or whatever, you can go to some of these resorts and stuff and use the pool there for the day. It's not much money. Might be $1 or $2. Go there, swim all day, bring a lunch with you, sandwich or whatever in an ice box. You'll be good. That's where it's at. COLA raises aren't always going to keep us healthy. You usually lose a little bit each year. The good thing about COLA raises is those COLA raises are in the Western countries. The Philippines has inflation, okay? But the inflation is kind of weird here. Like inflation in Manila might be different than inflation in Tracy Martirez. The inflation in Manila might be different than Cebu or Davao. Inflation might be different in some of the smaller cities and smaller towns than it is in Manila also, and also Western countries. So don't always go by what people talk about when they talk about inflation and stuff. It'll catch up probably sooner or later, but it's slower to catch up in those places. And I do find some places where you can get pork cheaper, chicken cheaper, things like that. Those things are going up. Rice prices, that's pretty the same everywhere in the Philippines. It gets a little bit cheaper in the provinces, places like that. In the provinces, you get cheaper fruits and vegetables. In the provinces, you're gonna get cheaper chicken, pork, because you're buying it right from the farmer usually. And that's how you can save some money. But living in the provinces, for an expat, some people like it, some people don't. Remember, you're not near medical. That's the problems. We have to remember, we're not getting any younger anymore as expats. We're getting older. And a lot of the expats think, well, I'm young, I feel good. We still feel young, guys, but our bodies are deteriorating. That's the problem. I mean, I myself, and I'll tell you this story because I think it's kind of key and important, is the other day I went to see a dermatologist. And the dermatologist started talking to me and telling me, you know, hey Steve, what you got going on here is like moderate to severe on my legs. I have that problem, and it keeps coming back and haunting me. It's kind of like, it's not cellulitis anymore. Now it's like a kind of a dermatitis, psoriasis thing going on. So anyway, I have the doctor working on it, and she says, I think you got an immune issue, Steve. This is some kind of immune. She goes, because you told me that you had pneumonia 7 or 8 times. And I said, well, I never thought of it that way, but yeah, you're right. You know, and she says, I want to get you help on all this stuff because I think that's why this stuff has taken off. And she says, unfortunately, usually when you get something like this, it doesn't go away. It's not something, she says, you can just kind of keep up with it through medication, creams, things like that. And with like, there's some light therapy that you can use too. So now I know you have to keep up with your health. If you forget about your health, it's going to really fall apart over here. One of the things she also told me is over here, that because you sweat a lot and you're moving in and out of air-conditioned buildings, back into the hot again, it's not good for your skin. In fact, it's horrible for your skin. And that can get costly over here too. So I just want you guys to be careful and think, because a lot of people think, well, if I get there, I'll be fine. You know, I'll be fine. It's not that way. Things happen daily. You have to be ready for it. You have to have the cash. You have to have money in your pocket. You have to have emergency money. You have to have your startup fees. We go through this quite a lot. But I want you guys safe. I want you seriously safe. I want you to keep on top of your health. I want you to get out walking. I want you to stay away from fatty foods if possible. Unlike me, you know, sometimes I have like a predisposition to heading to steak places. And I know that's not good for me. And I drink a lot of soda too. But I do try to get out and walk. And I try to walk out that sugar out of my system. And I try to walk off that fat out of my system too. It's a key to staying healthy is exercise, but it's also diet. And I'm changing little by little. And I know a lot of you guys jump on me about the Coca-Cola and about eating steak and hamburgers and stuff like that. Those are my weaknesses. I like to have a good burger once in a while. I don't eat burgers every day. Actually, I eat a lot of chicken. And I like ribs too. But I also eat a lot of vegetables, things like that. And I eat at Kenny Rogers a lot. I do stop and get pizza. And I know all those things aren't good things to eat, but I figure if I walk it off and I do maybe 5 to 7 miles a day of walking, and sometimes I do more than that, I think I'll be pretty good, you know, because I'm walking off of a lot of that cholesterol. I'm walking off a lot of those carbs and sugars and everything that I drink every day and I eat every day. That's key. But to get back to the money issue, guys, be careful. Don't come over here on too little. Don't be that $325 a month guy wanting to come to the Philippines because you're going to fail. You'll never survive on that over here. Never in a million years can you survive on that. I don't even think an American can survive on 500. I know there's one here. I think there's more to that story. I think because he raises some of his own food and he probably lives in a house that he doesn't have to pay for, maybe with his wife or girlfriend. I don't know the guy's story. I know he does it, but he's a rarity. He's a rarity. The average American over here cannot live on less than $1,000 a month. If you did, you wouldn't live comfortably. I want to see you guys live comfortably. You guys are retirees. You want to live like you're retired. You want to live good. You want to live large. Now's the time to live large, guys. It's not the time to live small, unless that's your thing. But not on $325 for sure. No. You need at least $1,000 a month or more. Even $1,000, you're going to live pretty uncomfortable. You know, you might have to cut back on your AC a little bit, have it a little bit higher and not have it on all day. You might have to cut back on other things. Try to be careful with your water, your electric bill, your rents, you know, things like that. You can do it. It's possible. Living over here on less than $1,200 or $1,000, it's possible, but it's not fun. You're not going to be able to go out and travel around. You're not going to be able to have your own car in most cases, unless you have an old junker that you know how to take care of yourself. Those are the things. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.